Sorry, y'all. Guess we're just tired. No, it's been a long week, but Cryptic Tales of Tarot is back. Like I said, no matter what happens or how long I'm gone, I always come back. Um, I hope you guys are having a great Friday or Friday. And the cool thing that I noticed was today's the 10th, and we are in the 10th month of the year, so today is the 10-10 portal. But I'm here to finish off the zodiac signs. I've already done fire and earth, and today I'm gonna do air and water. Okay. So this Aries full moon has been very interesting in terms of either A, people are being overly aggressive, or you guys could feel, at least I don't feel aggressive. It's for me, it's a matter of feeling like I gotta get shit done with quickness, like all in one day. But then I gotta remind myself, bitch, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's just a matter of time management. So, but after I give these horoscope readings, I will be going back to my tarot readings. Okay? And if you've been hearing crows, yes, it's the karmic feminine being a fuckwad. And yes, I said fuckwad. Okay, now let's get to business and so y'all can enjoy your Friday. Shit. 222 on the timer. Balance. Yeah, pay attention to all the signs. 111, 222, 333. Especially, 444, divine protection. A lot of 555, which means big changes. And for some of you divine feminines, don't be surprised if you might get a knock on your door from the authorities. I'm talking legit authorities, telling you that you got to move with the quickness. But I mean, they've got a place set up for you. And the reason why you're going to have to move with the quickness is because the karmic masculine is, I mean, danger. Totally, totally dangerous. They've Cops have picked up on this shit for a long time. Oh, look on the timer, 333. So if that move doesn't happen this month, it's happening next month. 345 on the timer. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen in a domino effect. And yes, they have been keeping tabs on this karmic feminine as well because they've been seen together. So it could be a shitty time to move, or you could be saying, "Holla, motherfucking Luya, I'm getting out because I don't have to worry about shit," or perhaps you've been living in a really shitty neighborhood that you want to get out of too. All right, let's see. Okay, my air signs. Oh yeah, and butterflies, especially black monarch butterflies, which I saw yesterday, and they're beautiful. Dragonflies, shit like that. We're gonna start with Gemini here. If you have Gemini anywhere in your birth chart, this will be extra powerful. But if not, it's still useful information. So, my dearest Gemini, this Aries full moon lights up your department of friendships, community, and long term goals. You might experience clarity around a group or social circle, which could suddenly change, showing their true colors, so to speak. Having said that, you might realize that they are not aligned with your spiritual growth, and a surprising opportunity or ending might prompt you to pursue a new dream. In addition to this, take advantage of Aries moonlight and soak in its energy to reflect on your vision of the future and what you want it to look like. With that being said, you should surround yourself with the right people, or is it time to make a change? You might realize that you need to release some people so that you can make room for more authentic connections. 611 on the timer. Furthermore, it's time to start networking, Gemini, because that's one of your strengths. This Aries full moon will be giving your 11th house a boost, as this part of your birth chart rules community and the collective. So it's a great time to put yourself out there, and you might also be reassessing the larger groups that you're a part of. On another note, if you feel like you're giving too much time and energy to certain groups that are opinionated or draining you, then it's time to make changes regardless of how heartbreaking it might be. That being said, this full moon is clearly emphasizing that friendship dynamics and group bonds are at the forefront right now, Gemini. Let's see. Moreover, seeing as how this super moon is focusing on your 11th house, making you open your eyes about your social life, some passive aggression could show up. Friends dropping hints instead of saying what they mean, or you feeling pressured to hold back just to keep the peace. Well, the Aries energy isn't playing around and calls bullshit on all of that. Because now is the time to speak up and say how you feel. But remember to do it with grace. This is where assertive communication comes in, and it looks like this. Here's how I feel. Here's what I need. Instead of making accusations or reverting to silence, as that doesn't solve a damn thing. Moreover, seeing as how the super moon is focusing. Hmm. Oh, wait. I think I did that. Yep, opening up your eyes. Don't hold back, just to keep the peace. You gotta speak your mind on how you're feeling, but like I said, not being aggressive about it. You know what's weird is that for all of these horoscope signs, it's all talking about being assertive. But there's a way to be assertive without being aggressive. And I don't think people know the difference between the two. And so it's gonna take this. Hmm. Okay. And when you speak up your mind here, it says if anything, you might find yourself stepping into a leadership position, showing others how clarity actually deepens friendships, or it could show them like a whole new side of you that they've never seen before. And so to them, it shows, you're changing, but they don't like the change. So then certain people drift away. And then network. You network and you find better connections. Excuse me. Mhm. See, you must remember the more intentional you are, the more aligned you become with your community, or you might realize that you need to start associating with others who are aligned with your frequency. 10:20 on the timer. This slang, I'm not gonna lie, for every horoscope sign, when it comes to changing your surroundings and the people you associate with, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be a bitch because, I mean, there's people that you've probably known for years. But like I've said in previous recordings, maybe you just outgrew each other, you know? One person becomes more mature and the other person like still maintains a high school or college mentality of constantly partying, doing drugs and staying in a low vibration. I mean, there's when you're young, there's nothing wrong with partying and shit. I can't be a hypocrite. I did it too, but then comes a time and a place where, it's in moderation. But some people don't know how to do with moderation. Okay, moving on. Libras. Libras, I love you to death. But for the majority of you guys that I've met, you guys really take way too long to shit or get off the pot when it comes to making decisions. That's just my personal opinion. And it's like, wow, 12:21 on the timer when I said that. And I've had friends that are Libras and, you'll see an opportunity come by, right? And I'll suggest, hey, that was a really good opportunity. Why did you turn that? You meet the qualifications. And they're like, oh, well, let's see what else comes around. And then they'll be waiting like 3 months later. And I'm like, bruh, there's another good opportunity. Whether it's for a job or a college application, something. And I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? And they're just like, I'm just trying to find the perfect option. And it's like, dude, you just let two fly by. And I remember, my father telling me, when you see an opportunity in your face, you got to be able to understand that it's an opportunity and take it and run with it. Don't just sit there like a bump on a log and watch it go by. Because then the other motherfucker is going to take it. Anyway, sorry, Libras. Get ready to have your mind and heart to explode. Because this full moon is a huge moment of illumination. And it's going to reveal the deepest concerns of your being. This Aries full moon is going to take you back in time to September 30th, when your planet, Venus, was setting the tone for some major awakenings to happen. These awakenings could have come to you in your dreams or through moments of lucidity, making you aware of outdated desires and ways of living that you no longer believe in. And be surprised by these revelations. Seeing as how this full moon is activating your areas of relationships, these awakenings could play a heavy role regarding your own connection to life. Perhaps your desires, boundaries, and non negotiables might be changing now. whether that be your business relationships, romantic relationships, or your personal relationship with nature. Mother Gaia. Whatever the case may be, this Aries energy is all about being quick and bold. However, if an agreement isn't met now, expect it to come back around once Venus enters your sign on October 14th. On a more practical level, money and what you use it for could also be on your mind. Maybe you'll decide to divest your resources from things you no longer need to services that bring you joy. On another note, the Aries full moon is putting a spotlight on your relationship right now. Therefore, you might notice a shift that could redefine how you connect with others. Having said that, a new dynamic could come out of nowhere, or an existing relationship could reach a turning point. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a time for clarity when it comes to reciprocity, balance, and your true needs in love and collaboration. And yes, surprises like these can feel destabilizing, but they also have the potential to realign with connections with awesome authenticity, which is ultimately more beneficial for you in the long run. Furthermore, this full moon in Aries is also in your opposite sign, which means that it highlights your seventh house of long term relationships as well. So you've got two different parts of your chart, your houses in your chart that are being illuminated. This is a rare event, but it just so happens to be the exact house your sign is associated with. And seeing how full moons are a time to reflect and release, you're focusing on your relationships right now. And that being said, you might ask yourself which relationships are draining you and which ones are nourishing you. And that's because you're a relationship oriented sign. So it's important to set boundaries with anyone who's draining you dry. Finally, considering how the full moon lands in your seventh house, you might feel like you've been bending over backwards just to avoid conflict, but the imbalance will feel impossible to ignore. Yes, passive aggression might be a temptation, yours or your partner's, but it won't get you anywhere. So, the Aries energy pushes you to get to the point and use assertive communication, which means telling the truth about your wants and needs, but without being dramatic. This supermoon invites you to step out of the nice at all costs role and into genuine balance. Releasing defensiveness doesn't mean letting go of boundaries. It means holding them with confidence and love. How about them apples? Man, get my water, man. Going with the water. Where the fuck else? Okay, and Aquarius. I will say just about every Aquarius I have met, excuse me, I call them the mad scientist because it's like they are their own MacGyvers, man. And confirmation. They're their own MacGyvers and they just know how to tweak shit their own way. Very bubbly and flighty. Okay. My dear Aquarius, This Aries full moon focuses on communication, connections, and ideas. During this full moon, there will be a conversation, a contract, or a piece of news that might change your perspective on something you've been contemplating. The Aries energy might make you feel compelled to express your truth, and it could surprise those around you. This is a time for breakthroughs in terms of how you share and receive information, thus leading to new opportunities for self expression. Having said that, this is the time to let out a roar and make yourself known. This fiery and independent Aries full moon will be in your third house of communication and local networks. So you've got some things to get off your chest, to say the least. In addition to this full moon could be special for you when it comes to social events, or at least when it comes to communication, work oriented events. Well, at this moment, Aquarius, the full moon is letting you take over the wheel. However, keep in mind that words are very powerful, so use them wisely. But know that it's a crucial time for you to speak up for what you believe in. This Aries full moon will make you extra courageous when it comes to telling others what's important to you. Because if nothing else, speaking the truth is important for you on a personal level for you. On another note, the supermoon in your third house gives you extra power regarding your house of communication, siblings, and learning. You should expect conversations to be more dramatic, thus making others blurt, snap, or get defensive quickly. And overreactivity might be your temptation too, assuming the worst when someone speaks carelessly, but this is also your chance to practice being assertive. For instance, instead of firing back, slow down and say, wow, 22, 22 on the timer. Okay, sorry. So, for instance, instead of firing back, slow down and say, here's how I heard that. What did you mean? Or, I need you to say this different. I'll say that again. Here's how I heard that. Like, here's how I heard that message. But, what did you mean when you said that? So, like I said, given how your words are more powerful during this full moon, you're going to have to clarify your messages when speaking to others instead of getting defensive. You might just be surprised by how quickly defensiveness diffuses when you don't become defensive yourself. There you go. And wow, 1616. All right, y'all. I thought that was on point. I had used several websites when it came to getting these horoscopes. All right, love y'all. Have a good weekend.